He was just one vote away from being the second player of all time to receive a unanimous vote to get into the Hall of Fame. Now, Ichiro Suzuki is the third player from the Seattle Mariners to be one step closer to baseball immortality.
And fresh at 6:30, Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen was on hand for the historic announcement and brings us a recap of the history.
I get to live out a childhood dream of stepping on a Major League Baseball field. But do you know who else is living the dream? Ichiro Suzuki, who became the first Japanese player to be elected into the Professional Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. At T-Mobile Park in Seattle, a special press conference took place. Reporters from all over Seattle and Tri-Cities arrived shortly before the inductees were announced. Glued to the TV, everyone watched in anticipation to hear the familiar name who patrolled right field for the Mariners.
まずこの日を迎えるということが2001年。
It started in 2001, and now it's 2025. But at that time in 2001, there was probably not one person on this earth that thought that this day would come.
Like Ichiro, the room waited on pins and needles until the news finally came through that Ichiro is in. Ichiro joins fellow Mariner greats Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, and broadcaster Dave Niehaus to be immortalized as Baseball Hall of Famers.
から待機をしました。
It was set up, and we were supposed to. There was a time frame, and 2:15 could have been the first, time that it could have happened, and so we were set up like it was going to happen, and so we were ready at 2:15. And that call didn't come for about 15 minutes. And so I started to think, maybe it's not going to come. Kevin Martinez, the Mariners president of business operations, says Ichiro's election into the Baseball Hall of Fame is another example of his excellence and just how much he means to the team, and most importantly, the fans.
Every time you stepped on the field, you energized fans in the Northwest, in Japan, and around the world, with both your skill and your style of play.
Martinez says Ichiro is an inspiration to everyone by staying true to himself. In his 28-year career between Japan and Major League Baseball, has more than 4,200 hits, which is more than Pete Rose. He's a 10-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove winner, and 3-time Silver Slugger, an All-Star Game MVP, and won both Rookie of the Year and League MVP in his first season in the show. Shortly after speaking with the media, the Mariners and the city of Seattle lit the Space Needle up blue in honor of the Hall of Famer. Ichiro, along with pitchers CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner, will be enshrined in the Hall in July. Ichiro says he's been to the Hall of Fame once as a player, but for him now, it's a whole different ballgame. Now, at the beginning of the press conference, we found out from Mariners management that Ichiro's number 51 will be retired in August after his induction into the Hall of Fame. Reporting in Seattle at T-Mobile Park, Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.